Hello there. My name is Michael Pilarski, and I'm with the Global Earth Repair Foundation. And today I'm here to just say a few things about Somalia, the situation there, and a project there that we're seeking help with. So it started out when John D. Liu of the Ecosystem Restoration Camps introduced me to people at a permaculture design course happening in Somalia and asked if I would do a guest talk on water harvesting. And so I did so, and I learned a lot about Somalia in that one phone call. And I talked quite a bit myself, but it was a nice exchange, and I learned, and they learned. And as a result, I learned that the course was not being held in that Somalia. Somalia is now, you might say, 3 countries and various sectors that it was really fragmented after the civil war and war that happened in Somalia in late 1980s there and into the 90s. And the country was at one point supposedly one country, but it was, again, the boundaries were put together by colonial powers. The British had an area in the north of Somalia, which is now broken away and become Somaliland, its own country, and then the area next to it is called Puntland. It's an old ancient on the old ancient trade routes, and it's one of the world's largest producers of frankincense and myrrh in that area, and mainly a country of pastoral nomads. One of the only countries left in the world where the pastoral nomads are still, or at least a short time ago, were a major part of the population. So I wanted to learn more about Somalia and how I could help their dryland situation, because it's a semi-arid and some of it very arid areas. It's the semi-arid are the best. So one of the things I started to do was collect books on Somalia for my library, in a sense. And so I got this book called The Last Nomad by Shugri Said Saul, that's S-A-L-H, The Last Nomad, Coming of Age in the Somalia Desert, and the Somali Desert. Now, she is not the last nomad. She is the last in her family line, in her particular family line that lived the nomadic life. So she talks about it in here, and then she comes of age during the big conflicts there and the wars and the clan fighting, and you really get an idea of what happened in Somalia at that time. So this is a really fascinating look at what Somalia was like just prior to that really big breakup there. Another one I have here is Somalia, The Untold Story, The War Through the Eyes of Somali Woman. So this is from the woman speaking to what happened, and so that's impressive. Here's a book called Clan Cleansing in Somalia, some really horrible details in there. And that's, there's, in a sense, so war is still fresh and raw in people's minds there. And, it's still some uneasy truces, you might say. And actually, there is active fighting still going on in some sectors. Okay, so at any rate, here's Culture and Customs of Somalia, a picture of the culture and customs. So I want to learn more about the people, understanding Somalia and Somaliland. And so I'm on this mission to learn a bit more about Somalia so I can be of some help. Here's the Somali economy as it currently is. And I'm also really especially interested in the plants and the dryland systems that is traditional there. And but it's hard to get books on Somalia, on their flora and fauna that are either the few that are, there's some that are too expensive. There's not that many out there. But anyway, I'm working on that. So here's common trees and shrubs of dryland Sudan. So this is, of course, going to be almost a lot of the same species that they have in Somalia. So to look at Somalia, I'm actually having to look at the countries around it. Here's medicinal plants of East Africa. So that's awful darn close too. So I'm collecting books on trees and plants, herbs in Somalia. And this project there, they're starting an ecosystem restoration camp, and they're in their beginning phases. Well, they've been going, but they could use some help. If there's anybody out there with grant writing skills is one thing, and how to obtain. They're trying to get some grants, and they could use help in tapping into some funds for their project. And I'm wondering if there's anybody listening to this that has some contacts that might help, or have some skills that might help this project in Somalia. If anybody does and would like to offer or inquire further, contact me, Michael Pilarski, at Global Earth Repair Foundation. That's .org is our website. Pretty easy if you Google us, Global Earth Repair Foundation. And at some point I'll have a little article on Somalia up there to go with this video. So good wishes to all the Somali out there. Many of them are, of course, in the diaspora, but there's many that have actually been going home. So best wishes to you all, and may peace be restored and your lands. Goodbye.